Finch was an itchy-footed traveling man. He wandered far and wide. Each time he saw a fence, Joe wondered what's on the other side. At the age of 2, he was crossing the street. At 4, he'd seen his town. By the time he reached his 14th year, he'd been the whole world around. Then one day Joe looked up in the air and said, think of all the mysteries hiding out there. I've been in this world now 4 times round. I think it's time I was outward bound. Now he's outbound, rambling the galaxy. Joe is doing fine, and every day's another holiday at Wharf 69. So early the very next morning, Joe jumped out of bed. He brushed his teeth, put a comb in his pocket, and a rambling hat on his head. He went to the railroad station to catch the train at 9. But this was a day to take a roundabout way on the ferry across space and time. From out of the clouds a big ship came down. 4 round feet settled into the ground. A great big metal door opened up wide, and a little green man said, Joe, get inside. Now he's outbound, rambling the galaxy. Joe is doing fine, and every day's another holiday at Wharf 69. They trained him well and they gave him a ship, a vessel of his very own. They set him free in the galaxy and now he's never coming home. He's gone and he's still rambling with the universe to explore. I can't say I know just where he is, but you can bet that he isn't bored. But one day I was standing by the well and Joe came down to visit for a spell. I asked him where you're going and he answered with a smile, heading for Andromeda, think it'll be a while. Now he's outbound, rambling the galaxy. Joe is doing fine, and every day's another holiday at Wharf 69. I watched his spaceship blast away. He faxed me a postcard just the other day. Alpha Gamma 4 is fine this time of year. Having a great time, I wish you were here. And he's outbound, rambling the galaxy. Joe is doing fine, and every day's another holiday at Wharf 69. Wharf 69. Wharf 69. As I was going out from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 ton, every ton 100 sack, every sack 10,000 grain. And that's what cities get from trains. Some politicians lacking brains said with voices dripping sweet, we don't really need these trains, the railroads all are obsolete. They're union strong, it makes demands. They guard the yards with railroad dicks who pick our cops clean off their land, do not like our politics. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 ton, every ton 100 sack, every sack 10,000 grain. And that's what cities get from trains. The politicians pass some laws to screw more money off the train and deeper dig their pudgy paws in more control of railroad games. The union said get off our land, they went on strike to show their peak. The grain train stopped their rolling and the city starved within a week. As I was going out from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 ton, every ton 100 sack, every sack 10,000 grain. And that's what cities get from trains. Hunger riots burned and rose and battered down the State House door, and all those fat politicos were killed and eaten by the poor. With the cities out of joint and no more politician men, the railroads said they'd proved their point and sent the grain trains down again. As I was going out from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 ton, every ton 100 sack, every sack 10,000 grain. And that's what cities get from trains. A harsh wind hammered and bent down the trees, so they moaned and they wailed in the dark. A wind cold and bitter as lies, or as death and as cruel as the jaws of the shark. So high ran the river, so heavy and wild, the waves were as strong as the sea. How fool could have told it was no night to be out earning a ferryman's fee? Ferryman, ferryman, won't you be kind? My mother and father are waiting for me. Ferryman, ferryman, take me across, though I haven't the price of your fee. She stood all alone on the cold heaving dock. She was pale and she trembled with fear. Her hands were clenched white as the moon on her breast as she waited his answer to hear. Although it's no night to be crossing, he said, for their sake I'll take you aboard. They must be near dying of worry for you, and one fare I'll easily afford. The ferry fought hard, it bucked out and rolled with the waves surging over the bow. Grimly the old pilot clung to the tiller as he brought the craft over somehow. The wind-lashed young maiden stood near to the rail, her eyes fixed upon the far side. She seemed not to notice the wind or the waves that threatened to finish her ride. By fate or by whim of old blind lady luck, he brought them in safely to shore. The young maid stepped down and she took off her shawl, saying, I haven't anything more, but I'll bring you your money tomorrow, I swear, tomorrow at morning's first light. Until then keep this as the trust of my pledge. And she disappeared into the night. Ferryman, ferryman, won't you be kind? My mother and father are waiting for me. Ferryman, ferryman, take me across, though I haven't the price of your fee. Oh, I hear that the ghost has been walking again, the passenger said with a yawn. Oh, yes, sir, it has, said the pilot who took the old ferry's tiller at dawn. The annual storm that sank this ferry's twin came up just the same time last year. And now any night that a harsh wind comes up, that spirit is like to appear. A ghost on the ferry, his second fare cried, a young maid who trembled with fright. Oh yes, miss, and that's why we can't hire a pilot who'll dare take the ferry at night. 11 poor souls that were lost on that night, and it seems that there's one that can't rest. Some duty of conscience still binds it to work, some promise or sin unconfessed. They're buried up there on the river's far side, you can see all the graves plain from here. The pilot's the last one, he cut off his words as the young maiden cried out in fear. They looked where she pointed her pale trembling hand, and there on the shore they could see her shawl lay folded on the old pilot's grave, her pledge for the ferryman's fee. Ferryman, ferryman, won't you be kind? My mother and father are waiting for me. Ferryman, ferryman, take me across, though I haven't the price of your fee. Ferryman, ferryman, won't you be kind? My mother and father are waiting for me. Ferryman, ferryman, take me across, though I haven't the price of your fee. When I'm feeling kind of silly, I sing a silly song, a really silly song, but it's not very long. I sing addle, 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 don't suck on your toe, your teeth turn green and your nose will start to grow, your eyes will turn red and spin in your head, addle, 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 and you have to go to bed. If you're feeling unhappy, you're feeling kinda sad, sing a silly song, it'll make you feel glad. Sing a diddle-addle-addle-addle, don't suck on your toe, your teeth will turn green and your nose will start to grow. Your eyes will turn red and spin in your head, addle-addle-addle, and you have to go to bed. And if your friends are unhappy, feeling kinda sad, sing them a silly song, but it'll make them feel glad. You can sing them out, addle-addle-addle, don't suck on your toe, your teeth will turn green and your nose will start to grow. Your eyes will turn red and spin in your head, addle-addle-addle, and you have to go to bed. I said addle-addle-addle, don't suck on your toe, your teeth will turn green and your nose will start to grow. Your eyes will turn red, spin in your head, addle-addle-addle, and you have to go to bed. I said addle-addle-addle, and you have to go to bed. I say addle-addle-addle, and you have to go to bed. Woodland through the valley comes a horseman wild and free, tilting at the windmills passing. Who can the brave young horseman be? He is wild but he is mellow, he is strong but he is weak, he is cruel but he is gentle, he is wild but he is meek. Reaching for a saddlebag, he takes a battered book into his hand, and standing like a prophet bold, he shouts across the ocean to the shore, till he can shout no more. I have come o'er moor and mountain like the hawk upon a wing. I was once a shining knight who was the guardian of a king. I have searched the whole world over looking for a place to sleep. I have seen the strong survive and I have seen the lean grow weak, and see the children of the earth who rise to find the table bare. See the gentry in the country riding off to take the air. Reaching for a saddlebag, he takes a rusty sword into his hand, and striking up a knightly pose, he shouts across the ocean to the shore, till he can shout no more. See the jailer with his key who locks away all trace of sin. See the judge upon the bench who tries the case as best he can. See the wise and wicked ones who feed upon life's sacred fire. See the soldier with his gun who must be dead to be admired. And see the man who tips the needle, see the man who buys and sells, see the man who puts the collars on the one who dare not tell. See the drunkard in the tavern stemming gold to make ends meet. See the youth in ghetto black condemned to life upon the street. Reaching for a saddlebag, he takes a tarnished cross into his hand, and standing like a preacher now, he shouts across the ocean to the shore. Then in a blaze of tangled hooves, he gallops off across the dusty plain, in vain to search again where no one will hear. Through the woodland, through the valley, comes a horseman wild and free, tilting at the windmills passing. Who can the wild young horseman be? And pale was the wounded knight that bore the rowan shield. Loud and cruel were the raven's cries that feasted on the field, saying, "Backwater cold and clear can never heal your wound. There's none but the witch of the Westmorland can make thee hail and sound. So turn your stallion's head, till his red mane flies in the wind, and the rider of the moon goes by, and the bright star falls behind, and it's clear was the paling moon. And his shadow passed him by, below the hills were the brightest stars, when he heard the owlet cry, saying, why do you ride this way? And wherefore come you here? I seek the witch of the Westmorland who dwells by the winding mere. Well, it's weary by the Owl's water, and the misty Breakfern way, till through the cleft of the Kirkston Pass, the winding waters lay. Lie down, me brindled hound, and rest ye, me good grey hawk, and thee may speed me graze I fill, for I must dismount and walk. But come when you hear my horn, and answer swift the call, for I fear the sun will rise this morning, will serve me best of all, and it's down to the water's brim. He's borne the roe and shield, and the golden rod he has cast in to see what the lake might yield, and wetter rose she from the lake, and fast and fleet went she, one half the form of a maiden fair, with a jet black mare's body, and long, loud and shrill he blew, till his steed was by his side. Overhead the grey hawk flew, and swiftly he did ride, saying, "Course well, me brindled hound, and fetch me the jet black mare, stoop and strike my good grey hawk, and bring me the maiden fair." She said, "Pray sheathe thy silvery sword, lay down thy roe and shield, for I see by the briny blood that flows you've been wounded in the field." She stood in a gown of velvet blue, bound round with a silver chain. She's kissed his pale lips once and twice, and 3 times round again. She bound his wound with the golden rod, full fast in her arms he lay, and he has risen hale and sound with the sun high in the day. She said, "Ride with your brindled hound at heel, and your good grey hawk in hand. There's none can harm the knight who's lain with the witch of the Westmorland." Ho! I was sitting by a river when the thought occurred to me, there are 100,000 rivers that we never even see. They are the boundaries of all we know of truth and right and wrong, and I have written some examples for you here within my song. Some are bridged and some are forded, some are swollen by the rains, some are the alternate result of all our joy and all our pains. But when the rivers of your life are full and starting to wash down, you gotta drink up that river before you drown. Hey, you gotta drink up that river, drink up that river, drink up that river before you drown. You gotta drink up that river, drink up that river, drink up that river before you drown. And throughout our nation's history, her times of peace and war, an overwhelming wave of misery has washed upon our shore. They did not ask for any fortune, just a corner and a plate, and how they shone with pride and honor as they made our country great. But migrants now are deportees, the more turned away. We've forgotten it's the immigrants who made our fame today. Our salvation is that blood, white, yellow, red and black and brown. We gotta drink up that river before we drown. Hey, you gotta drink up that river, drink technology, a flood that's rising still. And we are praying we'll survive it, or we're sure we never will. And all our speed and skill and reach will soon be taking us to space. It is a great day in the morning for our funny human race, but we are frightened of our future and scared to move along. So we shout that our technology is dangerous and wrong. Back to nature cannot save us, but the stars could be our crown if we can drink up that river before we drown. Hey, you gotta drink up that river, drink up that river, drink up that river before you drown. You gotta drink up that river, drink up that river, drink up that river before you drown. There is a river of humanity that's passing through our lives. There is a sea of endless sorrow and a stream of pain and strife. There is a river of tomorrow that will carry you away. And there's an ocean full of endless love to fill each passing day. There are rivers all around us in this life we have to live. All the rivers we've been given and the ones we have to give. So shout out this final message to the people all around. You gotta drink up that river before you drown. Hey, you gotta drink up that river. Drink up that river. Drink up that river before you drown. You gotta drink up that river. Drink up that river. Drink up that river before you. One more time. Drink up that river. Drink up that river. Drink up that river before you drown. You gotta drink up that river. Drink up that river. Drink up that river before you drown. Cold wind on the harbor and rain on the road. Wet promise of a winter brings recourse to cold. There's a fire in the blood and a fog on Brador. The giant will rise with the moon. 'Twas the same ancient fever in the Isles of the Blest that our fathers brought with them when they went west. It's the blood of the druids that never can rest. The giant will rise with the moon. So crash the glass down, move with the tide. Young friends and old whiskey are burning inside. Crash the glass down, Fingal will rise with the moon. And in Clement weather the people are fey. 3,000-year stories as the night slips away. Remembering Fingal seems not far away. The giant will rise with the moon. The wind's in the north, there'll be new moon tonight. But we have no circle to dance in its sight. So light a torch, bring a bottle and build the fire bright. The giant will rise with the moon. So crash the glass down, move with the tide. Young friends and old whiskey are burning inside. Crash the glass down, Fingal will rise with the moon. Cold wind on the harbor and rain on the road. Wet promise of winter brings recourse to cold. There's a fire in the blood and a fog on Brador. The giant will rise with the moon. I went into the hazel wood because a fire was in my head. I cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked the berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a brook and caught a little silver trout. And when I lay it on the bank and went to strike a fiery flame, something rustled on the floor and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossoms in her hair. She called my name and ran away and vanished in the brightening air. Though I'm old with wandering through hilly lands and quiet lands, I will find out where she has gone and know her mouth and take her hand and walk through long green dappled grass and pluck till times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun, and walk through long green dappled grass and pluck till times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. Where a hunter may die all alone. Red men have told of a legend so old of a death with a sigh and a moan. I fly where the forest meets the sky, race the wind as I go. My feet are on fire as I run and I cry. My name is Wendigo, yes, my name is Wendigo. Oh, my name is Wendigo. Where I run, my feet leave a path. They melt the ice and the snow. Hunters who see look above in the trees. Wendigo, Wendigo. I fly where the forest meets the sky. Race the wind as I go. My feet are on fire as I run and I cry. Oh, my name is Wendigo. By the lakes and streams in the pale moonlight, there's a sound so awesome and low. Is it the wind or a cry in the night? Wendigo, Wendigo. I fly where the forest meets the sky, race the wind as I go. My feet are on fire as I run and I cry. Yes, my name is Wendigo. Oh, my name is Wendigo. Yes, my name is Wendigo. Hey, ya, 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 hey, ya. Hey, ya, 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 hey, ya, hey, ya. Wendigo. Just a little atom of chlorine, valence -1. Swimming through the sea, just digging the scene and having fun. She's not worried about the shape or size of her unfilled shell. It's fun to ionize, yes, a little atom of chlorine with an unfilled shell. And somewhere in that sea lurks handsome sodium, with enough electrons on his outside shell plus that extra one. Somewhere in this sea there's a positive for my extra energy, yes. Somewhere in this foam my negative will find a home. Then unsuspecting chlorine felt a magnetic pull. She looked down and her outside shell was full. Sodium cried, what a gas, be my bride, and I will change her name from chlorine to chloride. Now the sea evaporates to make the clouds for the rain and snow, leaving her chemical compounds with an absence of H2O. But the crystals that wash upon our shore are happy ones. So if you never thought before, think of the love that you eat when you salt your meat.
and I
can share the silence,
can share the silence,
taking comfort together,
the way old friends do,
and after fights, and words of violence, we make up with each other, the way old friends do, times of joy,
times of sorrow,
we will always see it through.
we will always see it through.
I don't care
Oh, I don't care
what comes tomorrow.
what comes tomorrow.
We will face it together,
We will face it together,
the way old friends do.
old friends do. You and I can share the silence, taking comfort together, the way old friends do. And after fights and words of violence, we make up with each other, the way old friends do. Times of joy and times of sorrow, we will always see it through. Oh, I don't care what comes tomorrow. We will face it together, the way old friends do. We will face it together, the way old friends do. When it's midnight on the meadow and the cats are in the shed, and the river tells a story by the window at my bed, if you listen very closely, be as quiet as you can. In the yard you'll hear him, it is a pony man. We're always there to greet him when he tumbles into town. He leads a string of ponies, some are white and some are brown, and they never seem to kick or bite, they only want to play, and they live on candy apples instead of oats and hay. And when we are assembled, he gives a soft command, and we climb upon our ponies as in a row they stand. And down the road we gallop, and across the fields we fly, and soon we all go sailing off into the midnight sky. And as we gaily ride along beside a rippling sea, there's Tom and Dick and Sally and Mary Jo and me, and the pony man is leading 'cause he's been this way before, and he gives a hoop and a holler at Mr. Moon's front door. Then we stop to rest a while where the Soda River glides. Up to the slip comes a pirate ship to take us for a ride, and the pony man's the captain and the children are the crew. And we go in search of treasure and laugh the whole night through. And when the hold is filled with cold and the sails begin to strain, and the deck's piled high with apple pie, we head for shore again. Then down the whirling staircase so swift our ponies fly, that we're back within our beds again when sunbeams kiss the sky. When it's midnight on the meadow and the cats are in the shed, and the river tells a story at the river by my bed, if you listen listen very closely, be as quiet as you can. In the yard you'll hear him, it is the pony man. Yes, in the yard you'll hear him, it is the pony man. Calling all dreamers and optimistic fools, don't let go your dreams, make it now, make it all come true. If you believe in a brighter day, I know we can find our way to this island in a starry ocean, poetry in motion, this islander spinning like a dancer, gravity is the answer, rendezvous with the moon, this islander. Well, we don't know what's in store today, but we can spread our wings and we can soar away, or we can go like the dinosaurs, they say. The choice is ours to make, and it only seems like this to me, that we can wake up one day and be history, or stick around to unravel the mysteries of how we came to be on this island in a starry ocean, poetry in motion, this islander, a beautiful oasis for the human races, the only home that we know, this islander. Oh, this islander. Oh, this islander. I know we can touch the stars one day and kick up the dust on Mars one day, or trip the lights of the Milky Way, but we've got to find our way. And if you're looking for a miracle, open up your eyes. There was one this morning just about sunrise. Dawn came breaking like a wave on the sea, and it's there for you and me on this island in a starry ocean, poetry in motion, this islander spinning like a dancer, gravity is the answer, rendezvous with the moon, this islander on this island in a starry ocean, poetry in motion, this islander, a beautiful oasis for the human